Telecom operators are putting more and more faith in the skills, scale, and capabilities of their hyperscaler partners for mission-critical functionality. So how far are these relationships now going? Well, to find out, I'm talking today with Sanjay Mewada, a worldwide marketing leader at Microsoft. So Sanjay, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Now, hyperscalers and cloud will have a direct impact on how communications networks and the underlying infrastructure supporting those networks is deployed. What areas do you see being impacted the most?
Well, it stretches across the entire gamut of what you would call mobile networks. So everything from mobile core to the way the edge is built, whether it's the near edge or the far edge, obviously the RAN, and then the underlying telco cloud, the cloud infrastructure on which any of these workloads would run. All of those areas are impacted by the new architectures, the new approach, and working with hyperscalers and Azure in case of Microsoft.
Okay, so a wide range of options there, but let's just take the example of the mobile core. Why do you see that as one of the first areas where hyperscale capabilities and communications networking platforms will converge?
So think of it this way. Every network adoption, every move towards new architecture is driven by applications. And when you think of the world of 5G and you think of applications that demand much more real-time performance, you think of applications that demand that network and processing and compute and storage necessarily be close to those applications for those applications to be run more effectively. And you think of these scenarios and you ask yourself, how will this be possible? And mobile core becomes almost the de facto first step to start looking at separating, for example, user and control plane to be able to bring user plane as close to the users, as close to the application as necessary to create and drive those applications and the performance. And so you have a world where your mobile core, through its cloud-based architecture, if it is built cloud natively, allows for immense flexibility in where you locate it, how you run it, how you scale it, and make those applications possible that are going to run either at the edge, could be running on premises, or over private networks on shop floors across various vertical needs. And so the mobile core becomes that first enabler in driving the next generation of architecture around mobile networks.
So can you outline some use case scenarios for hyperscale-enabled mobile core deployments? I mean, what are some of the verticals that will benefit from mobile core on cloud?
As you would expect, there are a number of verticals which are early adopters of this approach. You see, for example, energy, you see oil and natural resources. One good example is offshore drilling platforms in different parts of the world, including North Sea and Gulf of Mexico, creating these private networks on these oil rigs and locating their mobile core on those oil rigs to be able to manage high-performance IoT requirements, to be able to manage mission-critical connectivity requirements that go beyond what would have been, the traditional Wi-Fi dependency. And so the ability to take a mobile core, effectively build a 4G LTE or a 5G network localized to an oil rig and deliver all the performance that's expected from those technologies is one good example. Another good example in manufacturing, you see this time and time again, where the extent of automation, whether it's optical inspection, whether it is need for much higher level of automation that removes the human element, requires effectively a network with a mobile core that is on-prem and allows for not only that hyperspeed connectivity, but also allows for the application, the robos, the automation to perform at a level that would be guaranteed by a private network with a mobile core on-prem. So these are just two examples, and there are many others. But this sort of gives you a flavor of why a cloud-native mobile core allows for operators and enterprises, for that matter, to create that flexibility, to bring that performance as close to themselves and as close to the application as required, and to deliver the required SLAs and performance to be able to do this.
Okay, so a couple of great examples there of the private network use cases, but are you starting to see the mobile operators deploy their 5G core applications and functionality on cloud platforms already? Is this something that has already started to happen?
Yes, so you have to think of it as a continuum, right? So you would have scenarios where a 5G is deployed with their cloud infrastructure on-prem. A lot of the movement right now is towards a hybrid approach, where you have a combination of network functions that are hosted in the cloud and network functions that are hosted on-prem, based on what an operator may feel are more mission critical requirements and what they need to have on-prem versus what may be on the cloud. And then ultimately, over time, as this transitions to pretty much theoretically any network function that could be consumed as a service from the cloud. So think of it as an evolution, a process of moving towards what was custom built on-prem for all network functions to a transition from on-prem to hybrid, ultimately to cloud.
Okay, so lots of really interesting developments there, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more 5G core deployments on cloud in the coming months and years. So Sanjay, great to talk to you again. Thanks very much for joining us, and look forward to catching up with you again to talk about the ongoing relationship between telcos and hyperscalers. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ray. As always, it's been great.